112年国庆酒会正式开始，处长请就位。
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain upstanding for the national anthem.
奏国歌。Thank you everyone for your attention. I'm not sure if I mentioned this before though, but I'm always very happy, very proud, and very privileged to call two beautiful countries my home though. And every time that I do this, the event and to play the two national anthems, so I'm so proud that I'm able to stand with my back straight, my chin up, calling these two countries my home though. And I think the words couldn't be better expressed about how great those two countries are though. I'm sure you'll feel the same though. Like I said, I hope I haven't repeated to myself. Even if I do, I'll say it again next year because I do feel like it. 首先，让我们以掌声欢迎今晚到场的贵宾。
We would now like to begin by acknowledging our VIP guests in attendance this evening.
今晚国庆酒会的主人，驻布里斯本台北经济文化办事处范厚禄处长及夫人。
The host of tonight's reception, Director General of the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Brisbane, Mr. William Fan and Mrs. Fan.
Treasurer and Minister for Trade and Investment, the Honourable Cameron Dick MP.
Minister for Agricultural Industry Development and Fisheries and Minister for Rural Communities, the Honourable Mark Ferner MP. State Member for Tui, Mr. Peter Russo MP, representing the Honourable Shannon Fentiman MP, Minister for Health, Mental Health and Ambulance Services and Minister for Women, and representing the Honourable Leanne Leonard MP, Minister for Environment and the Great Barrier Reef, Minister for Science and Minister for Multicultural Affairs.
Well, I think we have one speech and then we go
State Member for Sydney Green, Mr. John Cross MP. Representing the Leader of the Opposition, Mr. David Crucifulli MP.
State Member for Burleigh, Mr. Michael Hart MP.
State Member for Southport, Mr. Rob Mohawk MP.
State Member for Glasshouse, Mr. Andrew Powell MP.
Miss Emily Kim, representing Mr. James Martin MP, State Member for Strayton.
And a late addition to the VIP acknowledgement, Senator of Queensland, Senator Malcolm Roberts.
Mayor of Sydney Green, Councillor Greg Christensen.
Mayor of Bundaberg, Councillor Jack Dempsey.
Councillor for Runcorn Ward, Councillor Tim Marks, representing the Right Honourable the Lower Mayor of Brisbane, Councillor Adrian Shrina.
Queensland Police Service, South Brisbane District Chief Superintendent Andrew Pilotto, representing the Commissioner Katerina Carroll.
CEO of Trade and Investment Queensland, Mr. Justin McGowan.
Chairman of Australia-Taiwan Business Council Limited, Mr. John Toino.
Deputy Chairman of Australia-Taiwan Business Council Limited and former Minister for Citizenship and Multicultural Affairs, the Honourable Gary Hargrave and Mrs. Lorraine Hargrave. 再次欢迎今晚到场的贵宾，同时也欢迎各位侨领以及好朋友今晚百忙之中抽空来参加我们中华民国112年国庆酒会。
Again, a very warm welcome to all our distinguished guests and friends, and welcome this evening to celebrate the 112th National Day reception of the Republic of China, Taiwan.
唐代王维有一首诗，里面说到：“独在异乡为异客，每逢佳节倍思亲。”我相信在座的各位都对这两句诗词有很深的感受。 中秋刚过，马上又迎来双十国庆，谁能不思念我们的故乡中华民国台湾呢？所以今年事事都设身处地，为我们当地侨民着想的驻布里斯本台北经济文化办事处，将国庆酒会的场地办在了三海，让大家身处在这个熟悉的Sunny Bay，就不会有那种身处异乡的孤独感了。更甚者。 我们在这个精心摆设的礼堂里，各位相信已经看到我们左右有美食，我们前面有我们台湾的这个风景。就近虽然没有办法真的身在台湾，可是也可以就近就能感受到台湾的美景、台湾的美食。大家齐在一堂，更能够感受到台湾人的热情。永清啊，你讲对唔对啦？对。
We gather here today not only to celebrate and reflect on the remarkable journey of a nation that has not only overcome numerous challenges, but has thrived, prospered, and contributed significantly to the global community. But it is also a testament to the enduring friendship between Australia and Taiwan. Make it a reminder that our friendship is not only about diplomatic ties, but it is forged in the hearts and minds of our citizens, entrepreneurs, artists, and academics who work tirelessly to strengthen the bonds between our two nations. Despite the geographic distance, our shared values of democracy, prosperity, and freedom have brought us together. As we celebrate this day, let us cherish the cultural diversity, history, and culinary delights of Taiwan. And most importantly, the lasting friendship between Australia and Taiwan.
下一个阶段是我们的贵宾致辞。首先，我们要以最热烈的掌声欢迎今晚国庆酒会的主人，驻布里斯本台北经济化办事处陶处长。我们请范处长。上次的稿没有写好，就是那个，我们请范处长上台为我们说几句话，谢谢。
We would now like to welcome our first speaker tonight, the host of the reception, Director General of the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Brisbane, Mr. William Fan, for his welcoming address.
Honorable Emirate, Treasurer and Minister for Trade and Investment, Honorable Minister Mark Werner for Agriculture, Industry, Development and Fisheries, and Minister for Rural Communities. Councillor Kim Marks, representing Lord Mayor Adrian Schreiner, members of Queensland Parliament, elected officials, community leaders, members of the Council of Ports, leaders of Queensland Taiwanese community, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, good evening. First of all, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owner of the land which we are here today. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and the elders from other communities who may be here today. My wife and I are privileged to host this reception to celebrate 112th National Day of Republic of China, Taiwan. On behalf of the government and the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office Brisbane, I would like to extend my warm welcome and sincere appreciation to all of you for joining me in celebrating this special occasion. Your gracious presence makes this evening's celebration even more special and meaningful. 2023 has been a fruitful year. Trade and investment relations between Queensland and Taiwan have remained close and have thrived in the past few months. In March, we had Queensland's delegation attend the 2023 Smart City Summit Expo in Taiwan. In April, Deputy Speaker Kelly led the parliamentary delegation to Taiwan to explore business and trade opportunities. In August and September, Honorable Cameron Dick led the Queensland delegation to Taiwan and attended joint economic conference hosted by ATBC to further deepen bilateral trade and economic cooperation. The Mayor of Logan City, Darren Power, Mayor of Gold Coast, Tom Tay, were also invited by their sister city to visit Taiwan as well. In October, Brisbane will host Asia Pacific City Summit with 4 delegations from cities in Taiwan attending. Taiwan is the 6th largest export destination for Queensland in 2022. Queensland exports market to Taiwan increased by 164% compared to 2021. One of these show a close bond we have with Queensland. Both governments are working hard to achieve a win-win situation between Taiwan and Queensland. We also share the same democratic value to maintain peace in the Indo-Pacific region. What we have in common provides outstanding potential to develop a stable and secure long-term partnership in trade, education, tourism, energy, recycling, youth, and indigenous people's cultural exchanges. The tourism industry is also blooming this year. China Airlines celebrates 20 years connecting Taipei and Brisbane, and EVA Air celebrates its 30th anniversary of flying to Brisbane. Both airlines from Taiwan have overcome challenges and achieved outstanding successes over past years. What a remarkable achievement for these 2 Taiwanese airlines. This is the spirit of Taiwan. Despite the difficulties we face, we press on with energy, dedication, and perseverance.
Okay, so we
I
definitely
would like to take this opportunity to call for Australian government to support Taiwan's participation in
because I can
ASEAN.
actually just
to let Taiwan have opportunities to make more contribution in the international community. And Taiwan will also continue to seek support from Australia for Taiwan's admission at CPTPP and negotiate economic cooperation agreement with the Australian government. We will also work to deepen reciprocal and mutually beneficial economic cooperation and investment ties with Australia.
So actually, yeah, we'll just
to
leave it one
strengthen
minute.
our role
We'll go off this
supply
one.
chains, bolster our strategic economic status. My dear friends, Taiwan's stable growth and democratic resilience have highlighted its pivotal role in the transformation of the geostrategic landscape and restructuring of global industry supply chains. Democratic Taiwan is an indispensable force for good in ensuring regional and global peace and prosperity. In the context of global competition between democracy and autocracy, Taiwan, situated on the democratic front line, will cooperate closely with the democratic community to staunchly defend universal values of freedom, democracy, and rule of law. Taiwan strongly believes that democracy should not be intimidated by authoritarian regime. The Taiwanese people are determined to defend their democratic system and are undaunted by threat, interference, political and economic coercion from China. Taiwan is an island of democracy, an island of high-tech, a global nation, and reliable partner. Taiwan will continue to build links with the world through its warm power and resilience, and will jointly create a democratic and resilient alliance. Both Taiwan and Australia must work hand in hand to secure a safe, sustainable environment for the next generation. When we stand together, we stand stronger. I wish you every success and a wonderful evening. Thank you. Now, please allow me to say a few words in Mandarin to my fellow Taiwanese. 侨务委员、罗富林委员、咨询委员、温启文委员，还有各位咨询委员、各位侨领、各位乡亲，大家晚安，大家好。今晚非常感谢各位贵宾和侨界的先进来参加庆祝中华民国112年国庆酒会，也很荣幸今晚和大家一起庆祝中华民国的生日。谢谢苏会长所带领的昆士兰国乐团为我们演奏美妙的音乐，以及两位优秀的台侨子弟，今晚酒会的主持人 Sharon 跟 James。全球疫情解封之后，和俄乌战争爆发后的今天，国际情势发生巨变，台湾成为国际社会的关键字。台湾位于西太平洋第一岛链，台海和平稳定与全球安全密不可分，也是国际社会的共识以及瞩目的焦点，更是维持国际秩序的关键。我们与理念相近国家的密切合作，深化全球民主伙伴关系，推动新南向政策，扩大区域链结，积极推动参与国际组织 UN、WHO、ICAO、CPTPP， 也请侨界各位向澳洲政府争取支持国家的诉求。未来政府将结合产官学的力量，将台湾打造成为半导体先进制程中心，与民主国家共同建立多元韧性的供应链，为产业缔造新的里程碑。各位侨界先进，本着台湾人朴实、坚韧、宽容、努力不懈、乐善好施的台湾精神，在布里斯本立足生根，贡献社会，投入慈善。和推动台澳文化交流，受到澳洲各界主流的肯定，这是我们台湾的光荣与骄傲。我与办事处所有的同仁与有荣焉，请各位侨界先进做政府坚强的后盾，我们一起团结打拼，让世界看见台湾，让台湾以温暖与坚韧的力量，全球连结，向世界传达善的讯息，给世界一个更好的台湾。我们都是台湾 team。 最后，祝我们国运昌隆，中华民国112年生日快乐！也祝各位贵宾阖家平安，事业成功，台湾加油！
谢谢范处长，我讲对了，谢谢，不担心。Our next speaker has just recently returned from a trip to Taiwan in August. So it is a great pleasure that we invite him to the stage to share with us about his experience in Taiwan. Though. Please welcome the Honorable Cameron Dick MP, Treasurer and Minister for Trade and Investment to the
Now
stage.
let's see if I can look up to mine.
Well, good evening, everyone. Ni hao. Can I begin tonight in this important year for our nation, where in 9 days' time we have the opportunity to recognise our First Nations people finally in our national constitution. I acknowledge we meet on Aboriginal land and pay my respects to the elders, the traditional owners of the land where we gather tonight, as I acknowledge all First Nations people who join us here this evening and all elders of the Taiwanese community. Can I acknowledge Minister Mark Furnham, my ministerial colleague, members of the Queensland Parliament, Mayor Greg Christensen, councillors, including my good friend, I saw up the back there, Councillor John Raven, representing Logan City Council here tonight, Director General Farn, thank you for your words this evening, and Mrs Farn, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Can I just say how delighted I am to be here tonight on behalf of the Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk and the Queensland Government to recognise the 112th National Day of the Republic of China. Tonight we celebrate the spirit of Taiwan. Tonight we celebrate Taiwan's diligence, unity, resilience and success. Because tonight Queensland stands with Taiwan in celebration. Thank you. Our state's links with Taiwan are stronger than any other Australian state. As you all know, the Palaszczuk Labor government has made strengthening those links a priority for our government. Queensland's ties to Taiwan are warm, they are genuine, and they are meaningful. And they have stood the test of time. For more than 30 years now, Queensland has had a representative office in Taiwan, and we remain the only state in Australia to continue to have a representative office in Taiwan. Our government is committed to Taiwan because of you. Almost 17,000 Queenslanders were born in Taiwan, 1,000 of those living in my own home electorate of Woodridge. Taiwanese migrants and their families have made an enormous contribution to our state, and that community continues to grow. It's why I'm so delighted that Trade and Investment Queensland, since I became the Trade Minister 2 years ago, has supported almost 300 talented migrant visa applications from Taiwan to Queensland. And I want to acknowledge Justin McGowan, who's here tonight, our Chief Executive Officer, and all the way from Taipei, I want to acknowledge the Queensland Government representative in Taiwan, Patrick Hathenstein, and his wife, who also join us here tonight, who've done so much work to strengthen those ties with Taiwan. The depth of the relationship between Queensland and Taiwan, that's been recognised by those official visits that Director General Farn referred to earlier. This year, 6 Queensland mayors, 4 members of Parliament and 1 Queensland minister have visited Taiwan, and I'm so pleased that one minister was me. In August, I had the very great honour of visiting Taiwan. I became the first Queensland Government Minister to visit Taiwan for more than 10 years. So tonight, I'm going to share some of my holiday slides with you. I'm going to share some of my holiday pictures. It wasn't holiday at all, I can tell you. It was 100% hard work. And I'm going through some of those pictures tonight, and hopefully you'll recognise some of the faces on the screen behind me. I hope you can see this first slide, and I hope you all recognise Dr. Chen Shi-chong. Now, Dr. Chen is the former, as you know, Taiwanese Minister for Health, and he was an incredible leader in Taiwan's fight against COVID-19. I was very fortunate to meet Dr. Chen while travelling on the high-speed train, a beautiful high-speed train from Taipei to Hsinchu. Taiwan and Queensland also share a keen interest in biotechnology, and it was a pleasure to meet Taiwanese biotechnology companies, including Medigen, when I was in Taiwan. I also met another impressive Taiwanese business, Lin Bioscience, when I was in Taiwan. Now, they have established a great collaboration with a Queensland company, Gene Company, which itself has entered into a $135 million commercial partnership with Griffith University. They are working to develop and commercialise a novel drug candidate as a potential universal treatment for COVID-19. Of course, many people outside Taiwan did not understand. They had no understanding of how important Taiwan was to the world's economy because of its central place in the production of semiconductors for the international economy. 90% of the world's most advanced semiconductors are produced in Taiwan. But Queensland has its own growing semiconductor industry, supported by our government's quantum and advanced technology strategy, which was launched just yesterday by our Premier, Anastasia Palaszczuk. And it was clear from my discussions with some of Taiwan's most important and largest semiconductor companies that we can do more business together and we can share that great challenge for the world to produce more semiconductors more quickly at a higher quality. We can share that challenge together. Can I also say, I was also privileged to give an address at the 36th Joint Conference of the Australian-Taiwan Business Council and the Republic of China-Australia Business Council Conference. And I want to acknowledge the presence tonight of ATBC President Mr. John Toigo and Vice President Gary Hargrave. This conference was a great opportunity to convey the trade, investment and people-to-people links that Queensland and Taiwan deeply value and enjoy. And we're already seeing some positive outcomes from that conference, and I made the offer to John and the team when I was in Taiwan to host next year's conference here in Queensland. And I hope they can take up that offer for the communities of Taiwan and Queensland. So finally, I want to share one last moment with you. I think I've saved the best till last. The Queensland Night Gala dinner that we held in Taipei, attended by 230 Taiwanese friends of Queensland from across Taiwanese business, government and industry. Guests included Mr. Bruce Hong. You all know Bruce, a great Director General. There he is. Everyone said, "Who's that man sitting next to Bruce Hong?" And I had to explain who I was. He is very famous in Taiwan. And I also had the pleasure of meeting again former Director General Edward Tao, who was also at the dinner. In Taiwanese tradition, and I learnt that tradition from you, I learnt that tradition from this community. I went around the room and made a toast to every one of the 230 people who were there. And as you can see, there were a lot of tables and a lot of people. Luckily, I was provided with a very small glass by Patrick Affenstein, our Trade Commissioner. So I got through the night in good shape. So friends, in conclusion, can I just say, for almost 25 years now, you have been such a valued and deep friend of mine. And I just want you to know how important that has been to me in my role as a representative of the community and as a minister in the state government. And I hope in that almost quarter of a century period, I've tried to be a very good friend to you as well. And I've done my very best to do that, because there is so much that Queensland and Taiwan have in common. So much that we share in common, and I look forward to that mutual prosperity and success between Queensland and Taiwan growing in the years to come. So for everyone gathered here tonight, happy 112th National Day to you all. Gong Xi, Gong Xi, Gan Sheni. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you for your inspiring and encouraging speech. We can definitely see your enthusiasm shine through such a wonderful and heartfelt speech for a trip to Taiwan. And this is a true testament of the bond between Queensland and Taiwan, and I'm sure in the future this bond will only continue to grow stronger. Now next we have the pleasure to invite our next speaker, the Honourable Mark Berner MP, Minister for Agricultural Industry Development and Fisheries and Minister for Rural Communities to stage.
Well, good evening, friends. It's such a pleasure to be here with you this evening. I commence by acknowledging the traditional owners of the lands which we gather and recognise their elders both past, present and emerging. I recognise the Taiwanese community for this area and right across Queensland, the greatest diaspora in this nation. No wonder we have an excellent relationship with the Palaszczuk government and the Taiwanese community. Of course, I acknowledge my great cabinet friend, the Treasurer, Cameron Dick, and also Minister for Trade and Investments. I was really pleased to see some of those slides. Unfortunately, this evening I have none, but you'll have to rely on what I've indicated my experiences on the occasions that I've travelled to Taiwan myself. The Director General, Mr. Fan, and also Mrs. Fan, thank you so much for hosting this event and doing everything you do in this community. It's truly amazing, and that's why you see ministers like Cameron and myself and other members of the Parliament attend these functions. So I do recognise the other members for Parliament and the mayors and other community leaders that are here this evening. As I indicated, the largest diaspora in Queensland is based here, right across the nation, that we recognise you and your efforts and the values that you bring to not only this particular community, but what you bring in the relationship between our government and yourselves as the people. So it's a great situation that we're in terms of the friendship and the values we share. We certainly are interested in obviously the investment, the trade opportunities. I'm really pleased to see the Treasurer and in his capacity as the Trade and Investment Minister travel to Taiwan this year and see some of the experiences that I've had, fortunate enough to be involved in. Unfortunately, it was 2016 when I was last there, but I'm looking forward to my next visit because it truly is a place of significance, a place where the people are friendly and enjoyable, and a very modern island as it stands. I want to focus briefly on my portfolio and what we do with our investment, being the 7th largest agriculture port of exports in terms of what we share with Taiwan, and that is our premium food, whether it be the fruit, the vegetables, the beef, and all the other commodities that we send there. It is a great relationship we have with Taiwan. In fact, this morning I was out at the Brisbane markets with Peter Russo, and we saw the first tray of mangoes be auctioned off at $40,000. So you see the value that people have in our produce here in Queensland. Not for once I'm suggesting that you pay $40,000, but the auction and the money that it raised went to two good causes. So it gives you a clear demonstration of what Queenslanders think about supporting people in times of needs. Also, we have the opportunities of ag tech. It's a growing, emerging area, and the Treasurer spoke about the quantum stage we're about to go into. So see the opportunities of our trade relationships and values we can have with Queensland, but also Taiwan in respect to ag tech technology. We're seeing the growth in that substantially grow in many regions, and cutting down on fuel fossils, cutting down on opportunities and using the sun for powering many of those things that are being used in ag technology. I want to also acknowledge that time that I was last there, and it was a time when both Peter, myself, and Duncan Pegg visited Taiwan. It was a time when we said goodbye to a friend in years to come, Duncan, the previous member of Stretton, but once again, a very memorable occasion, being there with friends and forming better relationships and better trade opportunities with a country we can trust, we can rely upon, and we know they are our true friends. So once again, congratulations on the 112th celebrations, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to having more engagements with the Taiwanese here this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Minister. Minister. And I have to thank you for helping in the trade for exporting all the great beef to Taiwan though. I'm a big fan of meat, and Taiwan is well known for its barbecue though. And it doesn't matter where I go, if I want to order the basic beef or barbecue in Taiwan though, they'll tell me it's a beautiful Wagyu from Australia, from Queensland. It's a marble knife, and it's always at the top of the price list though. Unfortunately, I can't enjoy too much of them, but every bite is just beautiful though. So thank you for pushing the trade, and I benefit from both sides as well. Thank you. Next, we would like to invite Mr. John Cross MP, State Member for Sydney Green, representing the Leader of the Opposition, Mr. David Christopher MP, to come to the stage.
Well, good evening all, and it's an honour to be here marking this 112th National Day of the Republic of China. David Christopher, LNP Leader and Leader of the Opposition here in Queensland, he unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, but on his behalf, I bring our greetings to you all as you celebrate National Day. I acknowledge Director General Pham and Mrs. Pham, thank you, and all of the staff at your office in Brisbane. We acknowledge all the work you do in extending the hand of friendship here in Queensland and the Northern Territory, and all the great work your office does as well. I'd like to acknowledge all of the dignitaries here tonight from the Queensland Taiwanese community, including Ms. Phyllis Lowe, Ms. Melody Chen, and Ms. Vivian Lin from the Overseas Community Affairs Council of Taiwan, Mr. John Toygo from the Australia-Taiwan Business Council, and Mr. Lawrence Krinlevin from the Friends of Taiwan Association, and Cody Chen, who I met earlier from the Taiwan Friendship Association. I also acknowledge members of the Consular Corps who are with us tonight and acknowledge their presence in celebrating this important day. Mr. Justin McGowan, Chief Executive of Trade and Investment in Queensland, thank you for being with us. We've heard already tonight about the importance of the trade relationship between Queensland and Taiwan. To Gary Hargrave and his wife Lorraine, thank you for being here. Chief Superintendent Andrew Pilotto of the Queensland Police, and all the other police officers who are here tonight, thank you for attending and for the work you do. To Senator Malcolm Roberts and Mayor Greg Christensen of the outstandingly beautiful place known as Sydney Grim, one that I'm pleased to represent as well. And finally, to all my Queensland parliamentary colleagues, a member for Glasshouse and Southport, the Treasurer of Queensland, Minister Ferner, and also, I should also add, the member for Tui, Peter Rossa. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very lucky here in Queensland to be host to the biggest Taiwanese community in Australia, and the contribution of that community has been terrific over many, many years. A lot of you would remember the catastrophic bushfires we had in 2019 that affected Sydney Group in a huge way. But what I remember is the big hearts of many who contributed to recovery, and in particular, the significant donation made by Taiwanese business people to a particular community in Sydney Grim. It's something that hasn't been forgotten and something we should all remember. But that's just one example of many over the years of how your community has contributed to our community. Australia and Taiwan have an important trade relationship, and we've heard about that. Natural resources and agriculture. Biotech is growing as well. So many areas are growing. As someone who learned how to work on a farm, I recognise the important contribution that agriculture makes to that relationship. It is Australia's 7th largest two-way trading relationship. That is a significant amount of trade and a relationship that we need to always remember and to grow. As Australians, we are bound by our values for freedom, for democracy, for the right to individual expression and association. We're a peace-loving nation, but we've always been prepared, and we are now also, to defend those freedoms if they come under threat. And Taiwan, with a population similar to Australia's, an extremely highly skilled economy, an open economy, shares those values. And it's those values, just as much as any trading relationship, that binds our friendship together. Ladies and gentlemen, a few years ago in 1999, I was 18 and cast my first vote in a referendum. And Australians are doing that right now, facing another referendum. It's a very simple process. You're writing yes or no on a ballot paper. But it's an extremely powerful one that underlines our values, that people have control of our values in our constitution. And a lot's changed since 1999. Back then, We still had Boris Yeltsin as President of Russia. China was still 2 years away from joining the WTO. And unbelievably, the Wallabies won the World Cup in 1999. A lot has changed, but one thing has not changed and must never change, and that's our values, our commitment to democracy, and in the Australian spirit of mateship, a determination to look out for our friends, in good times and in not so good times. A determination to always seek peaceful resolution of difficult questions while not compromising our values. For it's those shared values that underpins our friendship between Australia and Taiwan. And so as we mark the 112th National Day of the Republic of China here tonight, I thank the Taiwanese community on behalf of David Crisafulli and the LNP for their contribution to Australia, and extend on behalf of our team support for your continued prosperity and peace into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cross. Next, we would like to invite Mr. Peter Russo MP, State Member for Tui, representing the Honourable Shannon Fentiman MP, Minister for Health, Mental Health and Ambulance Services and Minister for Women, and representing the Honourable Leanne Leonard MP, Minister for Environment and the Great Barrier Reef, Minister for Science and Minister for Multicultural Affairs.
Well, good evening everybody. I would like to acknowledge James and Sharon for the great job you're doing tonight. I would also like to honour the traditional owners upon the land on which we're gathered, First Australians, whose lands, winds and waters we all now share, and pay tribute to their unique values and their ancient enduring culture, which deepen and enrich the life of our community. I pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. I would like to acknowledge William Fan and his wife, the Director General of the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office. I'd like to acknowledge Cameron Dick, the Treasurer and Minister for Trade and Investment, the Honourable Mark Ferner, Minister for Agriculture and Industrial Development, Fisheries and Minister for Rural Communities. I'd also like to acknowledge John Krause and Councillor Kim Marks and representatives from the Queensland Police. I'd also lastly like to acknowledge the Commissioner for Overseas Community Affairs Taiwan, Phyllis Lowe and Miss Vivian Lin. Thank you for the opportunity to be amongst you and to be in my great electorate. I would like to congratulate the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office for organising this event, recognising the 112th National Day of Republic of China, Taiwan. As we have heard, Taiwan and Queensland has established a strong, respectful relationship with a rich history in successful trade and investment, education, tourism, social and cultural ties, and may this long continue. On Wednesday, I had the pleasure of going over to the Buddhist Compassion Relief Toshi in Salisbury, where I had a chat to Patrick Liu. Now, this organisation contributes greatly to the Brisbane community. They run dental clinics for the less privileged and also the homeless. And they also travel to outlying areas to assist people who don't have the ability to get to good health care. And this is brought home to me how the Taiwanese community is well known for its generosity and its spirit. And also, we remember the floods not so long ago, and when we were out at Rocklea, the people who were there helping to clean up were representatives from the Buddhist Compassion Relief people. So, as a community, you practice what you preach, and it's a great pleasure to be amongst you again tonight. Thank you, and have a great night.
Mr. Russo, I want to promise everyone something here though. I don't know if you are as distracted as me by the beautiful smell of the food that's coming up though. As you guys know, the heat travels up this though, so on stage we will smell more than you though. So I'm feeling it. I promise I won't have your attention for too much longer, and I'll tell all the chefs to slow down their preparation so they'll be nice and hot when they are served. Next, we would like to invite Councillor Kim Marks, Councillor for Runcorn Ward, representing the Right Honourable Lord Mayor of Brisbane, Councillor Adrian Schreiner, to the stage.
Thank you very much, James and Sharon. Well, what a way to empty a room. Get 4 MPs to get up and speak. Half the room's gone, but that's okay. The important people are still here. I'm representing the Lord Mayor, who unfortunately can't be here this evening, so I'm going to be a little bit formal, obviously. And I'm going to acknowledge everyone that has been, may or may not have been acknowledged, but I'm going to break protocol by not mentioning their titles, and that should get through everyone a little bit quicker. Obviously, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owner of the country, those elders past, present and emerging. Director General William Fan, we've got Senator Malcolm Roberts, we've got Honourable Cameron Dick, we've got Mr Peter Russo, we've got Honourable Mark Ferner, we've got Mr John Krause, we have Mr Andrew Powell, we have Mr Robert Nolenborg, we've got Mayor Greg Christensen, who and I have been doing a few C meetings lately. From the council, obviously I've got my council colleague here, Councillor Angela Owen, Councillor John Raven, who has delighted us with his presence in the best city in Queensland. We have the Chief, those who were at Cocoon know what I'm talking about, Chief Superintendent Andrew Piloto here. Obviously all the PLOs. No, PLOs haven't been acknowledged enough. They are the highest work of people that we have out there on the force. My good friend and mentor, obviously Honourable Gary Hargrave. We've got a few other people. Phyllis Lowe is also as representing the Taiwanese community and apparently is the last speaker. And I am aware food is out there and it's probably getting cold. We've got Lawrence Quinlevin, we've got Lisa Smith, we've got Emily, Susan Johnson, Mr Wen, Dana, Gaga, Henry, John, Tina, Flora, Florence, Annie, Peggy, Edward, Coda and Charles. And those are the ones that I just saw in the first couple of rows. So I'm now going to get into the formal part, which is actually reading out what I'm supposed to read from the Lord Mayor. Our city is on the precipice of an exciting era where opportunities are on offer for local residents and international markets alike. So we have the Lord Mayor's Multicultural Business Awards. Once again, they will be held on November the 17th. City Hall will be full of incredible business people that are working hard to make our city a dynamic hub for local and international business. So I'm sure I'll see quite a lot of you there at that. The other thing we've got happening in Brisbane is the APCS. That's starts next week, which as you know is the Asia Pacific City Summit. It'll be our 14th year and the 9th time the forum has been held in Brisbane. So the event is a catalyst for building relationships, sharing knowledge and connecting communities throughout their leaders. Through their leaders, my apologies. So in conclusion, I just want to mention Brisbane is a city that keeps getting better. We look forward to building on the relationship we've had with the fantastic local Taiwanese community through our sister city relationship and through our partnership with the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office here in Brisbane. Congratulations on your 112th National Day. Thank you very much and enjoy your evening. Thank you.
I just asked Councillor Kim Marks, I wasn't sure if she was reading or she went through it so quick. Oh my God, everything was clear. Such a practice. Thank you, Councillor, once again. 最后，我们欢迎中华民国侨务委员会罗富林侨务委员代表昆士兰侨界上台致辞。
Last but not least, our final speaker this evening, representing the Queensland Taiwanese community, we invite the Commissioner of the Overseas Community Affairs Council, Republic of China, Taiwan, Ms. Phyllis Lowe.
Good evening, all my good friends, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, on behalf of Brisbane Taiwan National Day event organizing committee, I would like to extend my warm greeting to all my distinguished guests. Thank you for joining us in celebrating the 112th National Day of the Republic of China, Taiwan. I would like to thank Taipei Economic and Cultural Office and the sponsors for their generous support. It's been 40-some years since the first wave of Taiwanese immigrants arrived in Australia, which include my family. We call Australia our home. At the same time, we continue to maintain native close economic and cultural ties with our native country, Taiwan. We are pleased to see that the exchanges between Taiwan and Queensland has been growing so fast over the years. Now, Taiwan is the largest export market of Queensland products. Taiwan and Australia are major partners in trade. We are also like-minded country, believe in freedom, democracy, and human rights. Together, we will make Asia Pacific a better place for all. To all the Australian friends here tonight, we are grateful for your support to Taiwan and local Taiwanese community. Thank you. Please enjoy tonight. Please allow me to say some Chinese. 亲爱的万处长及夫人、欧阳主任、温咨询委员、陈咨询委员、卢咨询委员、柯咨询委员、黄咨询委员、于咨询委员、徐咨询委员，大家晚安。感谢各位侨界先进与乡亲今天晚上莅临中华民国112年双十国庆晚会，仅代表昆士兰侨界重大活动筹备委员会向大家表达诚挚的欢迎和谢意。在场乡亲大多是我的老朋友，大家离开台湾多年，仍然心系台湾，希望台湾永远自由民主、繁荣进步。近几年来，在政府的努力之下，台湾自信走向世界，让世界更加看见台湾。最可喜的是，澳洲政府对于台湾的支持也不断升温，经常关切我们两岸局势的稳定。如今，澳洲是中华民国最大的能源供应国，也是重要的矿产、农产品的来源国。感谢经济文化办事处万处长、台湾中心欧阳主任的带领下，办事处极力宣扬台湾软实力，每个社团乡亲也不遗余力，将台湾传统文化与良善爱心带进主流社会，让昆士兰各界看见台湾。在这光辉的双十国庆，我们要特别感谢所有认同台湾、支持中华民国的澳洲友人，相信在大家的努力下，未来澳洲台湾的关系会更上一层楼。我们挺台湾，爱台湾，好不好？好。最后，恭祝中华民国国运昌隆，蔡英文总统和赖清德副总统阁下政功慷慨。今晚所有的嘉宾平安喜乐，谢谢大家。
现在呢，我们要请所有的致辞贵宾上台举杯，共祝中华民国国庆并贺以留念。我们请刚刚致辞的贵宾都上来。
We would now like to invite all our guest speakers tonight, including Mrs. Fan, Chief Superintendent Andrew Pilotto, Mr. Justin McGowan, and Mr. John Toyo to stage as we propose a toast to celebrate the 112th National Day celebration of the Republic of China, Taiwan.
请台上贵宾举杯，让我们共祝中华民国国运昌隆，蔡总统政功康泰，各位乡亲阖家欢乐，幸福安康。
Let us raise our glasses and toast to the Republic of China Taiwan and to a continued and robust friendship between Taiwan and Australia.
敬台湾。
Happy birthday to Taiwan!
Sorry. I'm just going to roll that video very gently in the background, basically. This is my feeling on this one. That. Yeah, that's the wrong one. I won't even
中华
put
民国110年国际酒会仪式到此告一段落，感谢各位贵宾今晚的莅临。刚刚有提到，我们今天在现场准备了很多精美的食物餐点给大家，是由我们大家都喜欢的台式餐饮百家鲜味所精心准备的，请大家留在现场吃喝，大家讲话。那祝大家有个美好的夜晚，谢谢。
We now conclude the official ceremony